July 11th, 2015, 8:52 p.m. Guards at Mexico's maximum security Altiplano prison conduct their routine check. Cell 20. Joaquín Guzmán Loera, also known as El Chapo, the world's most wanted drug lord. The cell is monitored by a camera that records his every move. Motion sensors track his location. Guards check on him every 30 minutes. He's lying on his bed, partially obscured from view. 9:17 p.m. The next check. Something's wrong. The guards enter the cell. The bed is empty. In the shower area, behind a half wall, a hole, a tunnel entrance, 1 mile long, equipped with lighting, ventilation, and a motorcycle on rails. El Chapo, a man responsible for smuggling billions of dollars in drugs, had vanished. This wasn't his first escape. It wouldn't be his last capture. But this tunnel, this was engineering on a level prison officials had never seen. Title card, Beyond the Bars plus episode title. Title appears, The Tunnel, El Chapo's billion-dollar escape. Joaquín Archivaldo Guzmán Loera, born April 4th, 1957, in La Tuna, Sinaloa, Mexico. By age 15, he was growing marijuana for local drug traffickers. By 30, he was running the Sinaloa Cartel, one of the most powerful criminal organizations in history. His empire. The Sinaloa Cartel controlled drug trafficking routes from South America through Mexico into the United States. Cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, marijuana, billions of dollars annually. Forbes magazine listed him as one of the world's most powerful people. His net worth, estimated at $1 billion to $14 billion, depending on who you asked. But with power came enemies, rival cartels, the Mexican government, the DEA, the FBI. His first escape, January 19th, 2001. El Chapo was serving a 20-year sentence at Puente Grande Maximum Security Prison in Jalisco, Mexico. The official story: he escaped hidden in a laundry cart. The reality: he bribed guards, prison officials, and anyone who stood between him and freedom. Reports suggest he paid over $2.5 million to facilitate the escape. He vanished for 13 years. The manhunt. From 2001 to 2014, El Chapo remained a ghost. The Sinaloa cartel continued operations. Violence escalated across Mexico as cartels fought for territory. The U.S. offered a $5 million reward for information leading to his capture. Mexico offered millions more. The capture, February 22, 2014. Mexican Marines, with support from U.S. intelligence agencies, tracked El Chapo to Mazatlan, a coastal city in Sinaloa. They raided his beachfront condo. He escaped through a hidden tunnel beneath his bathtub. But this time, the Marines were faster. They captured him in a nearby hotel. He was transferred to Altiplano Federal Prison, Mexico's most secure facility, built specifically to hold the country's most dangerous criminals. Cell 20. Maximum surveillance. Every movement monitored. The Mexican government assured the world El Chapo would never escape again. They were wrong. Altiplano Federal Prison, located 56 miles west of Mexico City, designed as Mexico's answer to Alcatraz. The security 24-hour video surveillance in every cell, motion sensors tracking inmate movement, reinforced concrete walls, 40 inches thick, guards patrolling every 30 minutes, visitors limited and heavily screened. No contact with the outside world. El Chapo's cell, 10 feet by 10 feet. A bed, a toilet, a shower partially hidden by a half wall for privacy. That half wall would be his exit point. The tunnel. What prison officials didn't know, El Chapo's organization had begun planning his escape the moment he was captured. According to later investigations, the planning took over a year. The construction, at least 8 months. The location: engineers working for the Sinaloa cartel identified a plot of land approximately 1 mile from the prison. They purchased a small property under a shell company, built a simple house on top. Beneath that house, they began digging. The specs. The tunnel was a masterpiece of criminal engineering. Length, 4,921 feet. Depth, 30 feet underground. Height, tall enough for a man to stand. Width, 29 inches, but length and dimensions weren't the impressive part. The systems. 1. Lighting. The entire tunnel was equipped with electric lighting, bulbs every 20 feet, powered by a generator on the surface. 2. Ventilation. A sophisticated air circulation system prevented carbon dioxide buildup. PVC pipes ran the length of the tunnel, pumping fresh air from the surface. 3. Structural support. Wooden beams reinforced the ceiling every few feet to prevent collapse. 4. Transportation. A motorcycle mounted on metal rails, modified to travel through the narrow tunnel. This wasn't for speed, it was to conserve El Chapo's energy for the mile-long journey. 5. Precision engineering. The tunnel had to terminate at the exact location of El Chapo's shower beneath the half wall, out of sight of the surveillance camera. GPS technology was used to ensure accuracy. Surveyors above ground tracked the tunnel's progress. One miscalculation and the tunnel would emerge in the wrong cell, or worse, in the middle of a guard corridor. The digging. At least 10 to 15 men worked on the tunnel. Rotating shifts, 24 hours a day. Excavated dirt was removed and disposed of carefully to avoid suspicion. Noise control was critical. Digging occurred during hours when prison activity was loudest, mealtimes, shift changes, exercises. The final stage, breaking through into El Chapo's cell. This had to be done silently, and at the exact moment when guards wouldn't notice. The timing, July 11th, 2015. A Saturday night. Guards were scheduled for their routine 30-minute patrol intervals. The window of opportunity, between 8:52 p.m. and 9:17 p.m., 25 minutes. That's all the time El Chapo had to descend into the tunnel and disappear before the next head count. July 11th, 2015, 8:52 p.m. El Chapo is lying on his bed. The surveillance camera shows him partially obscured, as usual. Nothing suspicious. What the guards don't see. Behind the shower half wall, a small hole has been cut into the concrete floor. The tunnel breakthrough happened hours earlier, possibly days, but it was covered and concealed until this exact moment. 8:55 p.m. El Chapo stands, walks to the shower. The camera angle doesn't cover this area. It's a blind spot, intentionally designed for inmate privacy. He moves the cover. The hole is roughly 20 inches by 20 inches, just large enough for a man to fit through. He descends. Inside the tunnel, the drop is about 30 feet. A ladder made of PVC pipes leads down. El Chapo reaches the bottom. The tunnel stretches ahead, illuminated by electric lights. Waiting for him, the motorcycle on rails. He climbs on. The motor starts, modified to be as quiet as possible. The journey begins. The ride, 1 mile, through a tunnel 30 feet below ground. The walls are dirt and rock, reinforced with wooden beams. The air is stale but breathable thanks to the ventilation system. The motorcycle moves slowly, steadily. No room for error. The tunnel is narrow 29 inches wide. Claustrophobic. 10 minutes, 15, 20, 9:15 p.m. El Chapo reaches the exit inside the house 1 mile away. His associates are waiting. A car is ready. 9:17 p.m. Back at Altiplano, guards conduct their routine check. Cell 20 is empty. The alarm sounds. Lockdown. Immediate search. Within minutes, prison officials discover the hole behind the shower wall. By then, El Chapo is long gone. July 11th, 2015, 9:30 p.m. The Mexican government issues a red alert. The world's most wanted drug lord has escaped. Again, the manhunt. Within hours, checkpoints are established across Mexico, airports shut down, borders monitored. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto is humiliated. He had personally guaranteed that El Chapo would never escape Altiplano. The U.S. offers assistance. The FBI, DEA, and Marshal Service join the search. The tunnel discovery. Investigators enter the tunnel from El Chapo's cell. They follow it to the exit point, the small house 1 mile away. What they find is shocking. A generator still running, powering the lights. The motorcycle on rails, parked at the exit. Construction tools, helmets, work boots, empty water bottles and food wrappers. Evidence of months of labor. Blueprints and structural plans. The house had been purchased months earlier under a false name. The electricity bills were paid on time. Nothing suspicious. Cost estimates. Mexican authorities estimate the tunnel cost between $1 million and $5 million to construct. Materials, labor, bribes, equipment. For El Chapo, a small price for freedom. The corruption. How did no one notice? Theories emerged. 1. Bribed guards. Reports suggest prison officials were paid to ignore unusual sounds or activity. 2. Surveillance gaps. The camera in El Chapo's cell had a blind spot, the shower area. Authorities later admitted this was a design flaw. 3. Visitor complicity. El Chapo's lawyers visited regularly. Some investigators believed coded messages were passed during these meetings, coordinating the escape. 4. Government involvement. Some speculated that high-level government officials were complicit. The escape was too sophisticated, too well-timed to be purely the work of the cartel. To this day, no definitive proof of inside help has been confirmed, but suspicions remain. The search. For 6 months, El Chapo evaded capture. He moved through Sinaloa, his home territory, protected by locals loyal to him. The Sinaloa cartel continued operations. Violence escalated. The escape was a humiliation for the Mexican government and a symbol of the cartel's power. The recapture, January 8, 2016. Los Mochis, Sinaloa. Acting on intelligence from U.S. agencies, Mexican Marines raided a safe house. El Chapo escaped through, you guessed it, another tunnel. He emerged in a nearby drainage system, stole a car. But this time, the Marines set up roadblocks in advance. He was captured on a highway 6 months after his escape, humiliated, exhausted, defeated. This time, the Mexican government didn't take chances. El Chapo was extradited to the United States. The trial. In 2019, El Chapo was convicted in a U.S. federal court on multiple charges: drug trafficking, money laundering, conspiracy to commit murder. Sentence: life in prison without parole. He's currently held at ADX Florence, a supermax prison in Colorado, known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. No tunnels, no escapes. 23-hour-a-day solitary confinement. El Chapo will die in prison. El Chapo's tunnel escape changed everything. Prison security reforms. After the escape, Altiplano underwent massive renovations. Surveillance cameras upgraded to cover every inch of cells. Ground-penetrating radar installed to detect tunnel activity. Cell floors reinforced with steel-reinforced concrete. Guards doubled during high-risk inmate watches. But the damage was done. El Chapo's escape exposed catastrophic failures in Mexico's prison system and its government's inability to control the cartels. The Sinaloa Cartel. Despite El Chapo's imprisonment, the Sinaloa Cartel continues operations. His sons, known as Los Chapitos, assumed leadership. The violence hasn't stopped. If anything, it's intensified. Rival cartels fight for territory. The Mexican government struggles to maintain control. The legend, El Chapo's escapes. Both of them have become legendary in criminal history. The laundry cart, The mile-long tunnel, the motorcycle on rails. These aren't just escapes. They're symbols of audacity, power, and the limits of government authority. The cost. But let's not romanticize it. El Chapo's empire was built on violence, addiction, and death. Thousands have died in cartel wars, communities have been destroyed, families torn apart. His escapes were feats of engineering, but they were funded by misery. Could he escape again? Addicts Florence, where El Chapo is now held, is considered escape-proof. Inmates are locked in 7 by 12-foot cells for 23 hours a day. The 1 hour outside is in a small concrete recreation area, alone. No contact with other inmates, no visitors except lawyers. All communication monitored. The walls are reinforced concrete and steel. Motion sensors detect movement. Pressure sensors detect digging. If there's any prison El Chapo can't escape from, it's this one. The tunnel remains. The tunnel beneath Altiplano has been sealed, but it still exists, a monument to one of the most audacious prison breaks in modern history. Tourists can visit the site. The house where the tunnel began is still standing, though it's now heavily guarded. What does this escape teach us? Money and power can buy almost anything. Loyalty, silence, time. El Chapo didn't dig that tunnel himself. He didn't engineer the motorcycle on rails. He didn't bribe the guards. But he orchestrated it all. From a 10 by 10 cell, he coordinated a multi-million-dollar operation involving dozens of people. That's power. That's influence. And it took the combined efforts of Mexican and U.S. law enforcement and a second capture to finally stop him. El Chapo's tunnel escape is a masterclass in criminal ingenuity. 1 mile, 30 feet underground, lighting, ventilation, transportation. It's also a reminder of the limits of incarceration when money and power are in play. This is Beyond the Bars, where we go deeper than the headlines, where we explore the planning, the execution, the investigation, and the aftermath. If you want more stories like this, prison escapes, crime investigations, and unsolved mysteries, subscribe and hit the notification bell. New episodes every week. What do you think? Was El Chapo's tunnel escape more impressive than the Alcatraz break? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.